So let's say you're an electronic musician, and by that I mean someone who composes music that starts mostly with a digital workflow, maybe a laptop, maybe a DAW. You're not necessarily an instrumentalist who wants to pick up an instrument and record that instrument. We see this a lot in techno, in house, in basically all the dance music genres. That sort of the computer is like maybe the starting point of the electronic music composition. So a lot of you are in that situation, and so maybe you'd like to incorporate some hardware synthesizers into your workflow, but you're not sure what to do. Well, this is the video for you. Let me help you out right now. So the simplest version of this video could be that I just tell you to get a synthesizer and a laptop, one of those things with some software installed, and you just hook them up together, and you hook them up via a sound card. My sound card is down there in this rack, but you can use any sound card. What you just do is you take an audio cable from that and plug it into your sound card, and then plug the sound card into your computer. Easy peasy, job done, video done. Now, the problem that you'll come up against is that you get one of these things and then you realize that you're not a keyboardist, or maybe you are and then you don't need this video. But you realize, hey, I don't actually know how to play a tasty riff on there. But so what I recommend that you do instead is that you compose something on the computer and then you send that to your synthesizer using MIDI data, and then you record that back using audio. So to get MIDI data from your computer into your synthesizer, my recommendation is to just use the USB connection that comes with most modern synths. It's by far the easiest. When you create a new MIDI track, it'll show up there as selectable, and you just do that. Now, I'm using old school MIDI cables, but there's really no upside to that. Just use the USB cables. And then you got to figure out two main things. What rhythm is this thing going to play? And what notes is it going to play? And to work that out, I would recommend that you use something super basic, like just an operator, just a sine wave, or a very simple basic soft synth, so that you create a pattern that already works with the music theory of your track, so that the harmony is correct and things like this. For example, in this track, I want to create something that is in E minor. I want E to be the home key, and so I just want to create a droning pattern in E. I don't even want it to change notes. So let me start on E and figure out a rhythm that I like. So I'd create a MIDI channel using Command-Shift-T, and in that I would place a very basic synthesizer like an operator or whatever comes with your DAW, and I would make myself a little 1-bar loop. And in that 1-bar loop, I'm going to play this note mostly. And in fact, I think I want to play it really staccato, so I want it to have little spaces in between. And maybe I want some notes to be longer. Let me first make a pattern of pure 16th notes, and then take some notes and drag them out longer. I don't know what it's going to feel like, but let's try. In music, it's always good to try something and see how it feels rather than overthinking things. Oh, sick, that's way too busy. Also good to keep in some of your composition, like for example, a kick. Yeah, that's not going to work. See, it's cool to do this with a placeholder sound so that you don't have to mess around too much with too many variables at the same time. I like it. Let's put in some trills. We're not trying to win any awards here. I'm just trying to show the workflow. Notice that I'm only using one note at a time at the moment because I want a monophonic pattern. You don't have to do it like that. You can also do multiple notes at the same time, making chords, but then you also have to think, is the hardware synthesizer that you have monophonic or polyphonic? You just have to think that through, because there's not a huge amount of point of sending multiple notes at the same time to a monophonic synthesizer that can only play one note at a time. If you are trying to do that, maybe try using an arpeggiator to break that up a little bit. So now that we've got this placeholder pattern, right? What we're going to do is we're going to replace this operator with an external instrument. Here in Ableton, you just find this external instrument thing. You have to select which MIDI to send it to. In my case, it's going to be number 4. In your case, it's just the name of your synthesizer. And then what audio is going to come from it? Hup, for me, that's 1 and 2. There we go. The synthesizer is making that sound. And so now it's up to me to do two things. I gotta go to the synth and tweak the parameters live, but then it's also important to capture that performance so that I can later on use this audio, snip out the best parts and select and curate the best stuff. So all I gotta do, create an audio track, and in that audio track, I'm going to select the input of my external synth so that when I hit record, there it is. And now let me tweak it for a second and you'll see it change. And then you can disable that external synth, and all you got to do is just use your beautiful resampled audio, which you now have on this separate channel. And like in the cooking shows, this is one of those, and here's one I prepared earlier, moments. Benefit of this is that you get the playfulness and chaos and unpredictability of a hardware instrument where you can tweak things with your hands and find this playful interaction with it. But then you also get the precision of recorded samples, and you get to keep, for example, the drum loop, which was very precise. You get to keep that intact as well. So it's really the best of both worlds, the best of the instrumental world versus the best of the DAW-centric or software-centric world. At least that's how I think about it, and I invite you to think about it the same way. As a little bonus, why not? We're here anyway, we're having fun. If we're having fun, like and subscribe, by the way, almost forgot. YouTuber duty. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Since we're having fun, here's a little bonus inspiration. I set my BPM to 226 BPM, which is uncharted territory for me, and I'm really enjoying it. And then what I did was, I programmed these hi-hats, right? These simple hi-hats, but this hi-hat blue is just set to play a different sample every single time it hits. I've created this Ableton sampler which has an LFO set to noise, and every 16th note it changes sample. So whenever I trigger it, it's just different samples every single time. And then I recorded this for a while. And so I recorded all that to audio, and then I just played that out, and I found the bits that sparked the most joy, and I arranged them as audio together with the kick. I think that is so sick, sorry. So you get all the benefits of randomness and pleasant surprises, plus also the precision of a resampled workflow. So now it's going to be the same sound every single time. It's going to be the highest quality every single time. If you'd like me to go deeper on composing with randomness, let me know. If you like the way I teach, maybe check out one of my foundations courses. Come show us on the Discord what you did with this. If you do something with this, post it on Instagram and tag me at @OscarUnderdog. That would be super sick. Go forth and have a good time. And until next time, stay producing, be good to each other, and take care. Bye-bye.